left you. I believed it was Michael Jackson. I really did. This happened after he had passed. It may take you a little, but highlight it with your phone so you can see a demon being rebuked right here. A mask, because the devil often wears one. That should tell you a lot. This is a demon being rebuked as well. This is a face just coming through the wall. I don't know, y'all. This is another face. You're going to see a lot of photos like this as we go on. It's going to show this as I talk about this. These are all real photos, not AI. Okay, so this happened at our last apartment that we lived in Ontario in a historical district. I'll go into that. Yes, I believed this was Michael Jackson. Hee, laugh if you want, but it came right after he passed. Another one here. Let's begin. You're going to see these photos in succession repeat themselves so you can get a good study of it. You can see it, not filter your phone. Nothing's falsehood here. Just a taken picture, and that's it. And at that, a taken picture into a object, there was nothing there until that appeared. All right, let's get into it. Okay. Hello. So, we're coming up on Halloween, and I'm one of those type of people who is not like, let's not celebrate that. That celebrates demons and all those things and everything. And that I do not believe. Trick or treat, getting candy, dressing up, things like that. That is far from celebrating demons, unless you're like doing some kind of cultist activity or whatever, and taking the holiday into, if you're doing some type of worship with that, yikes. But anyway, there is far more things that are demonic, and far more people every day that celebrate demons, and they don't even know it. So what I'm doing here with the pictures that you are seeing, and you're looking like, what the heck is that? Mind you, these pictures that you're seeing are not filtered. They're not AI. They're not made from a software program, nothing like that. There are pictures throughout my life where I pointed a camera. Sometimes it was at absolutely nothing, a hallway, and this is what came out of it. This is the picture that came in the lens. So we're going into, when I go into this, I want to specify, not all the time people will believe. There's a movie called Deliverance, maybe that happened there, Gary, Indiana, and Carolina Street, with a home. There's a couple of houses, Amityville, that was based on a true story. Maybe those places did have significant haunting, significant demon activity because something was tied to it. But I really do believe that it isn't just tied to a house. There's 3 stories within this month that I'm going to do that are straight from the Bible and put visuals on. And that's all I'm going to do is read them from the Bible and put the visuals on them. And I'm not going to go into hearsay and explain anything more than that because they're pretty self-explanatory, okay, when you watch and when I narrate and when you hear them and when you may want to go back and read again what you just saw. Okay, but the stories I'm telling now is basically the stories that have happened throughout my life and what I have witnessed with people around me. With the pictures that you are seeing here, and these pictures will roll out all throughout this while I'm talking, and why the world seems to be falling further and further in a spiral downward motion. Okay, it's not, people say you can't mock mental health, and I don't intend to. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just trying to share that there are spirits out there, if you want to know it or not, because you may say, I don't want to hear it, I don't care, whatever, that's up to you. But if you do, like you would make yourself safe for anything else when you fasten your seatbelt and you jump in a car, maybe you do want to know just why is all this stuff going on. I don't claim to be Christian or anything like that. I have a belief in God, and I'll tell you why, because of most things, that is who saved me from all this activity. Every night between me and God, we are saying something, and you'll learn that too. You should seek him so that you can be fully protected, which keeps me out of harm's way, and a lot of other people. There's a prayer, Matthew 6:9, which people should take into account. It is the beginning of learning. It's a protection prayer. And, we'll just talk about a lot of things here about my first experience with, possession, seeing possession in others. And I don't want to be in a map all over the place, so I'll start with my first experience of possession. When I was younger, this is number one, I'll try to stay on 3 minutes on each thing. When I was younger, my mom had helped a lot of people living in her apartment in the family. So we had to share rooms, and I had to share with my mother, and some of my cousins had to bulk up together, my aunt, and we did live with my grandma. But at this point, we lived with my mom in her apartment. And so I had to share a room with my mom. And one night, we were asleep. And I don't know what kind of dream this is. I was a very young girl. I was like maybe 15, 16. I can't remember the age. And all of a sudden, all I could see what was in the dream. I wasn't seeing what was going on like my mother and my cousin was, but all I could see what was in the dream. So I was asleep in the dream. And all I saw were these masked figures that were tree high tall. I'm talking about the sequoias, like the redwoods tall. And they were just standing in a line in this deep, dark area. And I couldn't really make it out. I don't know if it was earth. I don't know. It was just a foggy, purplish, deep, dark area. And they were doing some type of weird chant. And my mother said she had heard sounds coming from me as I was sleeping. And she looked at me as I was sleeping. And she said she saw what looked like a purple fog coming from my mouth as I was sleeping. And she says my name. I won't say my name because my name's unique and I don't want to share it online. And she says my name. And I'm not really awakened by her. I just keep seeing these figures that are masked. I can't make their faces, and thank God I can't. And I have a story for that next. And they're in these dark black robes and they're just chanting. So my cousin comes home, rest his soul. And he comes in the bedroom, he says, "What's going on here?" He wanted to protect us because when he says he comes home, and it was well close to midnight, he looks in my mom's room, in her window, and he sees all this purple fog in her window. Okay? And she's looking at me and she sees this purple fog coming from my mouth, and hearing these chants, these weird, crazy, outerworldly, like a man is talking to her young daughter, or multitude of men through her young daughter. And she tells me, try to wake me up. And I'm all, what happened? Finally, I'm myself. And all I remember is my cousin coming through the door, rushing through her door. And my cousin would not do this. My cousin would not open my mother's door without knocking. He said bullcrap. He opened the door because he wanted to protect us. Okay? And he said, "What is going on?" And he was dead on serious about it. What is happening? And that's all I remember. I looked at him and I said, And my mom says, my name again. And she looks at me and she says, "Don't you remember? How could you forget? You were talking some weirdness and it was scary. And some purple thing was coming out of your mouth." And I was like, "No, I don't remember any of it. I don't remember nothing." And so that was one. They're hard for me to talk about. They are. And I thank God for deliverance. The next is I would, sometimes my mother would be not herself. And it just wasn't right. I don't want to go too much into that. And I could tell it wasn't right because, she would dart at me and make fun of me in such a way that it seemed like this is not what mothers do. I knew that. And I said, this is something else that is trying to attack me. And perfect attack come through her mother. That's a doozy. Come through her mother. That way, if we start there, when we get other people attacking her, and I know this wasn't my mother, therefore I forgive her. Totally. I know this was not my mom. If we can start with her mother, then when we jump into someone else, she'll believe it. So we'll go into this stranger, that stranger. And it has. You guys, when you notice that, it'll start with someone close to you because that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to seed it up, get you to, I'm talking about the devil when I say this, get you to believe even your own mother thinks you're a piece of shit. And I'll just, right there, okay? So then when you get other people doing the same thing, attacking you like that are total strangers that don't even know you, you know where that's coming from. You know who that is. All right. They may not know. They may not care. They may have some remorse after it. They may go on with their life, or they may really be ignorant to it and not even know when the enemy is using them, or just be like, whatever, just not care, whatever. So, this one I begin to know it when I get total strangers who, and I'm sure you guys have had this too, do not even know who you are, but will look at you and act inhuman. Have you seen that? Have you seen that in some people where they look almost like they're growling? No kidding. No kidding. If you look at the dyspnea on their face, it'll look almost as if they're growling like an animal. And you're like, okay, this guy has got you. And you probably aren't even aware of it. And there's no telling them unless they want to hear. If you read the Bible, Jesus is always saying, him who has an ear, let him hear. If you are willing to hear, then you are willing to get set free. Basically, I believe what that means. If you don't want to, then hey, I guess you enjoy this type of life where an enemy is using you like that. Okay, so we've moved into this other apartment, and I've had this life with arguing sometimes with my mother. And some days were good. I'm not innocent. Sometimes I probably got on her nerve, but I wasn't doing such bad things as if I was doing things that teenagers shouldn't do or kids shouldn't do. I wasn't innocent. I probably got on her nerves with little things like, hey, Mom, I'm coming here. I want to talk to you or whatever. And she'd say, what? All the time. And I was like, hey, moms don't act like that. But, oh, well, I love her. There was other times where she was the greatest mom in the world. I can remember that up until like 8 years old. And then I guess the stresses of life or whatever got to her. And it became a day in, day out, what's today's going to be like kind of deal. And I live with that. I lived with that for a very, very long time. I don't think my mom was intentionally trying to be wayward with me. It was just something that maybe in her childhood was done. It was something maybe that I don't think my great-grandmother was mean to my grandmother, but it was something like a stronghold that I believe followed through. And it ends here. When I have my own children, if I have my own children, I sure won't try to continue that disease on them. But my mom was a great parent. She did all she could. She tried her very best, whether it was in the spiritual world, to me that is, or whether it was in this world. But I see that grimace and that growl, and I know that's from the enemy when I see that on anyone's face. And the instant I see it, I know what it is. I know what it is. So, and we moved, and this is years that we moved, into our Ontario apartment. And this Ontario apartment is a very old apartment. So it was built like a long time ago in the 80s. And it was a place for, it used to be a place like a senior's home or something where a lot of people would die. Okay, so in their place. And this is the area, hospitals and stuff like that, graveyards. I cannot touch a graveyard because I get real dizzy going into a graveyard. I don't know if somebody's trying to get my attention or some spirits, disembodied spirits or whatever. But I get totally dizzy, so I don't even do that route. And in this apartment, these pictures that you're looking at, this is what I would do. Just aim a camera to anything, doesn't matter what it was. Take the picture, and I get all these spirits that you're seeing right now that you're looking at. Not a lie. This is not I didn't, goof around with this photo, edit it, put anything on it. This is just what was there. And in doing such thing, I would have a lot of dreams at this place. Getting back to shadowy figures. Anytime you see Shadow Man, that's not your friend. Anything void of light. That's really something evil. Except this time I saw his face. And I really kind of don't want to go into AI to show you that because I don't want anyone to have any heart problems. I mean, that's how deep it is. I don't want to have anyone have any mishaps. But I can describe, and I will describe only some of what this looks like. His robe was saturated with death, which means it was grotesque. It was dirty. It has to have been dirty for ages. And there was a smell along with it. Such a smell that you couldn't even gasp your breath. Okay? So what he did, I seen this demon walk throughout the whole apartment community. And every place he passed, you could hear people arguing, or you could hear some type of commotion that wasn't positive happen as an outcome when he would pass it. And every time he would pass, he would think that was funny because he caused such a commotion. How many human beings do you know like that? Well, guess what, guys? They are part human and they are part infiltrated. And they think that is great when they can cause commotion like that. That they're, you know who they're working for. So that's the top class, top tier of something nasty like that possesses someone who is willing. That's what I mean by someone who is willing. So each place he would pass, he would cause a commotion like that, where they would start yelling, getting in fights. And this happened on the daily at these apartments where we used to live. You know, it constantly happened. And I was like, why is everyone under a commotion here? Because everyone there could easily be under a spell from the enemy. So in my dream, this thing whose face I saw, and thank God, he shields me from it. Thank you, God. Thank you in Jesus' name. But the short 2 seconds, I saw him clearly. He was just mainly death, mainly rot. If you can imagine a rotten body that consistently rots, meaning it does not ever go back to its state of normacy, but it stays in that form. And it's so bad that they don't even change their robes. Their robes are just brown, slimy, and disgusting, and they continue to rot and roam and seek who they can destroy and just get a joke out of, basically. Like, you know, some humans do. They let that stuff infiltrate them. So that's that second part. And I won't mention names here, but every day, every single day, I have people, and I'm sure you guys do too, that excuse me, I'm yawning, that you know something has gotten into because you don't even know them. And they're either just glaring at you crazy, doing things to think they're getting to you, growling, that growling look, or, ladies and gentlemen, pretending to be nice. Okay? When you see a person go from night to day, be leery of that. Be leery of that. You know, whether it's something that they are, how can I say, inebriated, whether it's drugs, whether it's alcohol, whether it's whatever, all that is a possession. It really is. All that is a problem. It is something the enemy is throwing at them, and if they want to get rid of it and they want to do better, they will. And if they don't, they will just remain the way they are. And they won't see. They will pretend they love God. They will pretend. That's the enemy's most grandiose one right there. And there's so many people that are even in the so-called church that are faking it. You know, that it's not really real. Anyone who wants to be the top dog number one, or be glamorized, or charismatic, self-righteous, anything like that, that's not from God. Anyone who wants to pump up themselves and, you know, talk about how fascinating they are and how they want a following instead of telling people about the word, and you leave it at that, and wanting to dress and socialize and be in the high seats, read Matthew 23. Those things are not of God. That's another sense of evil. You know, that's Joel Osteen, those big pastors. He's just one that comes to mind. These things are not from God. These things are from men and the tradition of men, and men wanting the fame, men wanting to be seen. And, you know, not, are they? God is the judge. But are they really giving what the lawyers say? And I know all these scary pictures are like, I'm looking at this picture, I'm listening to you, and that is unbelievable, but believe it, because I am only shooting open air. And what happened, it was really infiltrated where I used to live in Ontario, in that historical district. Okay, and so I thought. So in my own house, which I live in today, I was taking photos, and this one is a little bit different. There's an editor that I can run something through, and technology has grown, so it's grown pretty good. And here you'll see some more photos. And what this technology does, is sort of AI assistance, is change what you took a picture of by keeping the same format of what you took a picture of, but showing it in a way, if you write a prompt that just says, show me as the image is. Okay, if you write this prompt, it changes it around to what it exactly sees. So this I did, this is why I'm explaining it, because I have to explain what happened later with it. So this is the pictures, the scary pictures that I was getting back from using this prompt, right? This, I don't know what this is. In here, it has a little bit of my mom's eyes, but it's not my mother. I know it's not. Then we got here, this is the little bald dudes that you see. These are demons, like, I guess, not cherubs, but like these small little ugly demon-like bald, squiggly, fat, kind of belly, like crazy looking. God forgive me, but hey, I used to see it and don't like it. Okay, that type there, I'll just put that. And then the squigglies, I call the squigglies. I guess. I don't know. You guys, I'm not crazy. I am not. I'm telling you. This is why the world is the way it is. Because people will call you crazy, like, what? But then when things start happening and they start taking note and they start seeking themselves and reading the Bible, then they say, hey, this is what's going on. This stuff is really happening. we're not crazy. It's crazy not to find out why this is happening and keep going on with your life as if, you have the power to, I guess, ignore it and tackle it on, but you don't. Only God does. Only God does. And that's why with God, you can't just say things from your mouth, because that's not going to work. With God, He knows what your intent is, and what your heart is. So if you're just being like a loud trumpet, it doesn't work with Him. He knows how you are thinking in your mind. Okay? So my cat is usually very genuine and beautiful and sweet and pretty. And he doesn't do anything to hurt me or the other cats I have, the 2 other cats. But out of nowhere, and this was a $30,000 bill that sent me to the hospital, he latched onto my leg, kept his canines in my bottom leg for like maybe 30 seconds and did pure damage. Okay? He hit my vein in my bottom leg, in my where the ankle is, and I had to be knocked out and have surgery to drain all the stuff out, because within 24 hours, which I was like, oh, I'll get through this, whatever, my leg puffed up to be twice the size, so it actually looked like a wooden pillar that would hold a house up. And they had to drain all that out and do a lot of excess surgery to get all the juices out that he actually put in my leg. And he was very sorry when I came back from the doctors after a 3-day stay. He was as calm as ever. This is my pet bull cat. He was as calm as ever. In fact, he even looked at me and said, cats can't say you're sorry. But he looked at me with his eyes, and he smiles me, I guess what Tyra Banks say. And he kind of looked at me and said, Mommy, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. And I don't think he did. I think he was actually something went into him, because demons can also access pets. They can also go inside pets and make them act crazy. And that's why he did that. And he was probably a little bit startled because, again, my mother was on one, and she was arguing. And I says, would you stop? You're going to excite the cat. And she did it louder. I said, please, Mom. God bless her, so I forgive her for everything, and I hope she forgives me. I love my mother. And the cat came charging at me, and he latched on, and I had to shake him off my leg. And there goes that. So that happened. Now, getting back to the pictures. I took the pictures again of the empty hallways in my house and everything. This is the new house. And this time, I really wanted to take my faith father, and I was praying to our Holy Father. Nothing. It was wiped clean throughout all the rooms. The Lord had it wiped clean. And ever since, between me and the good Lord, the Holy Father in heaven, I'm very dedicated to. I love our Holy Father, and I hope you guys seek him out, because he really does love you too. He really loves you too. This is who really loves you. Okay? I hope you give him your time. And the devil means nothing. Don't do nothing for the devil. The devil just wants to finesse you, tell you what you want to hear, take your hand, yes baby, take your hand, and send you straight to hell. So give your time to God, because he will be honest with you and truthful. And all the rest of these pictures that I have taken that you see here is wiped clean. I don't want to show too many pictures of my house, but I put them through the editor, and they're all wiped clean. And every single night, my Holy Father reminds me, and I'm so very thankful of him. And I'm sure those of you know he reminds you too, and those of you, I hope you know and grasp onto this. I hope you can see the revelation of this, that we speak to each other and we chant to each other something that's between me and him that keeps the evil away. Okay? that keeps the evil away. So I'm gonna stop it at that. This is only to help you on what you're looking at here and what I've said. And hey, nobody's better than anyone else. Everyone will answer, and everyone will be picked on too, and everyone goes through something. Just don't give them a key. That's all I'm saying. Don't give them a key. Okay, thanks for watching.
Anytime, fire.